Hey, this is HansPerm once again. Welcome to my channel and good to see you in the stream. And today we'll just play cubes this time. So we can do anything though. We can solve different cubes like 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, whichever. And probably I'll just stream all the way and just probably just hang out if you want to join the channel. And if you wish, you could also drop some chat if you feel that you want also to have a chat. Okay, I'll be here with you. And anyhow, I've been doing this one only for almost quite some time only, right? So which means I'm pretty new still in streaming, and I'm just only fan of solving a cube. That's it. And and I haven't even interact uh, with the viewers. Most likely, it's I just straight away solving while I'm on stream. And okay, this time we'll see if someone will going to visit and having a chat. So let's do this. Okay, I might be thinking for for the first activity I might be doing though. What if you're new Cuba and still learning um, how to solve a 3 by 3 cube, and probably I could just make uh, maybe a fast basic run through on working on solving a 3 by 3. Yeah, because I think for those people who are very good now in solving, definitely um, when they first learn, of course, most likely they have started the beginner's method, right? So which means a year back when I started learning this, it's quite tedious to really to solve, and it took me a lot of time and even days actually until such time I have fully solved fully solved a 3 by 3. I used to have so many 3 by 3 at home even when I was a kid, but really I haven't even managed to solve that one. I even kept one sold one because the moment I purchase it and someone do the scrambled, totally that would be it. I would not be able to solve it. Right. It's a bit late on my age though. I'm already in my 40s, and just recently I just learned how to do this. When I just come across with coming back to this and really to religiously learn this one. So what I did is basically, of course, YouTube is there. I even run so many tutorial, but still I could not even, I don't know, I could not absorb it. But when I catch one website or um, YouTube channel over there, maybe it's quite very basic and really it's quite intuitive for me. And even I put it on writings. I wrote all the instructions that for me to perform a beginner's method. When I was doing that one, actually, I still having those sheets with me actually because this time I managed to teach my son, my 10-year-old son, and he's now pretty good now in solving, but still he's in beginner's method. I purchased another cube, very simple cube, even almost I don't. It's nearly $1 or even less than a dollar. It's very cheap one though. Definitely it's a non-magnetic and like it's a black version though, of course. Just like maybe it's similar to this one though. Right, but this is Skewb. Right, this is much more better compared that I have the 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 copied one though. But only the reason why I bought those, I think not only one actually. I had around five or six, I believe so, because it's while I'm learning the beginner's method, there's a stages there, and the moment I have completed maybe first stage, second stage, third stage. Particularly in the beginner's method, of course, we I really started doing the daisy. I imagine that one working with the daisy, and even that one is written on the paper, that daisy, and just to perform that white cross. And of course, layer by layer, right? Uh, Another stage will be there. So every time I fix a particular stage on the sheets, I think it took me eight or seven stages. I want to preserve that. To tell you frankly, I solved my first 3 by 3 Rubik's cube for about 4 days, I believe so. I think 4 or nearly a week or 5 days. I even capture that once, take those snaps, every stages that I have completed. In the moment that I have missed, suppose from stage one, I have completed, as stage two, I have completed already the first layer, and moving on to the second layer. In case I might be mess around, definitely I will have most likely to return back to the first layer. So that's why I have those cheap Rubik's cube. I want to preserve that one so that I will just perform all those second stages. And once I perfect it or I miss it, at least I still have one more solve of first layer over there. No problem with the first layer and second layer, because the moment I have moved now to the third stage, like building up the solving for the second layer, because the next will be doing this canon. I remember that one, canon. So there's a setup algorithm for that, and many times I did a mistake for that. So at least if I did commit mistake on that particular stage, I can still practice it from the other cube that has already formed and performing on the same stage. So which means until I reach, I think what we call this one, this um, the yellow cross on the top, right? The yellow cross on the top, and then there will be like a permutation of all corners. So most of the time, I really uh, confused with on that particular stage until I could not perform the last layer, which is I even turn the cube upside down. So that's the story behind it. When I first solve it, really it was an overwhelm. It's a different feeling, because imagine at my age, it's only my first time I have solved a Rubik's 3 by 3, and there are so many things that I have uh, learned. Even I pretty much maybe about 4 months I'm performing a beginner's method, because when I come across that some of the algorithms that I'm doing in the beginner's method is pretty much like it's a combination of OLL and PLL. I never knew that one yet until such time I come across to know that there's a better way of solving it, and that is a CFAP method. So CFAP method is, of course, starting with the cross and F2L, and then the OLL and the PLL. But during that time, I'm still onto it on that beginner's method, and I was just solved for the first time the cube using beginner's method. It was 17 minutes actually. It's a rough nearly 20 minutes, and I just only developed that one until I have mastered that beginner's method, and hardly I could even reach a sub 60 seconds solve, because the moment I have reached 60 seconds, I was so happy that time. And I think that was about 3 months when I was already working on still under the beginner's method, right? Then again, of course, need to research what is the CFAP it's all about, and should I perform one still my beginner's method, or should I move to CFAP method? So what I did actually, I merged what still I'm doing it in the beginners by performing. At least my cross is not a daisy anymore. I have learned to solve the cross, even the white is facing at the bottom, and the first layer was there. But the CFOP, the F there, which is F2L, technically I never even done that one. I'm still performing the typical first layer and the second layer on a typical beginner's method. But when after that one, I'm not doing the canon anymore, the the corner permutations that comes with the yellow cross. What I did once that I perform after performing the beginner's method on the first layer and the second layer or the middle layer, now I try to incorporate the CFAP, which is only the O and the P. So which means O stands for OLL, and of course PN for the permutation of the last layer. But during those days, I'm just only having a handful of OLL, and this is what we, of course, many people start. Of course, they have this two-look approach of orientation of the last layer, and maybe about handful of 7 or 8 until maybe maximum of 12, not even probably about that. So I'm only having those of knowledge till I just, for me, I'm pretty comfortable of doing the two look OLL. So, and then of course the PLL, uh, the OLL having 57. So that's quite overwhelming, and totally I never even thought that I'll be studying all those 57 OLL, but I'm good to about 10 OLL because I'm just only performing two loop, right? And then at the same time, hi Akif, the Cuba. Hello, how are you? This is HansPerm. Welcome to my stream. Right. Um, yeah, that's it. Imagine for a two look OLL, and of course performing that kind of two look. And there's first a lot of F moves and wide moves, and the rest would be not even the real actual or the actual name of the algs. So even when I was also performing that a combination of beginner's method and as well with the PLL, I mean for the CPAP method, my PLL is just even handful as well. I believe it's only 7 PLLs, and at least that PLL was been named as like the T-perm, the Y-perm, even technically even the U-perm, which is the UA and UB. I'm performing already that out, but I never knew their names. And I was about nearly 6 months already performing that kind of method. Imagine combining the way I have learned the beginners, because my beginners started with the cross, but at least my cross is now performing it at the bottom. Of course, I'm a white cross first. Majority came first for that one, and then doing the first layer, a typical alg for doing the first layer using RU R prime, and then still I'm performing the second layer by layer. But at least out of that, now I can now move to OLL, because the OLL I still have already handful of algs that considering as a two look OLL. Pretty much actually when it comes to PLL as well, if I don't know dot shape, because suppose I have only 7 during those days, I have only I think 7 PLL algs new. I will just break it by with a TPAM, right? And that will just come across to that particular OLL, a PLL. And a part of that, it's let's say it might be also a two look PLL, because totally I'm not performing the way it should shape come up on your on your PLL. Of course, I have to break that one, and then of course the HPEM and ZPEM has been there it's a must if you are a two loop PLL. That's Z and HPerm is must be a part of your partial PLL. So that's it. And it took me about 6 to 7 months doing that, and I managed to have 3 minutes, 2 minutes, until hardly almost I reach sub 60 seconds, and I was very happy during those days when I reached a 60 seconds or sub 60. Of course, that would be great, right? And just when I come across that the first layer and second layer is totally, I'm not doing the full CPAP method. So the last thing that I studied on is, once again, I came back to do some tutorials and learn some tutorial, particularly on F2L, because it's quite tedious. Imagine if you are solving first layer and second layer, right? Layer by layer. So when I saw that this F2L, wow, it's all you have to do is to edge that corner, to pair that corner and edge, and that's it. At least you can insert that one in that particular slab, and it will save more time as well. And really, it was so difficult for me when I first learning F2L, and it's very very hard for me really. And I don't know, I could not even catch more intuitive kind of approach and simple approach. I have seen many YouTube tutorial in F2L, but hardly I could only see maybe a better one. Probably I still remember, of course, that is coming from JPerm. And though because JPerm is a very good uh, teacher as well. Literally, I learned from his YouTube actually. And that only time I really religiously do the F2L, and intuitively until even now actually I'm doing that kind of intuitive of F2L, because really it's hard for me to to recognize the pairs of each one of these edges from the edge and the corner. And there are even some elves there that it's hardly I could perform. Really, so many poses and so many turnings, so many grips, and even I'm doing a wide turn like this, or doing like many things actually. And it was developed during those days when I really uh, I mastered that F2L. But for me, I probably even until now, for me it's not quite efficient. But I don't know. I just felt that that is this is basically based on my likings and intuitions. And when I learned that F2L is there. I have seen some advanced F2L. Even until now, I'm trying to grab that advanced F2L. That there, I even see some sledgehammer, something like that. So yeah, but I'm not doing that technically. And that only time I can say that probably about 8 months or 7 months, I'm fully doing now the CPAP method, right? So this time, of course, uh, I'm having now an average of sub 60, sub 30, and quite lucky if I could got a sub 25 average. And really, it took me a lot of time of putting it on the muscle memory. But during those days, because it was the height of pandemic, lockdown was there. I thought that what if I were going to study the complete of OLL, which is literally the 57 OLL, and I did. It took me about one or two until three algorithms in a day, and most likely in a week. I should complete at least a minimum of 10 algorithms of OLL. And about probably I completed about 4 months of learning that OLL. But basically, almost forgot na. Of course, before I jump into OLL or going to full OLL, of course, I managed to complete my PLL. And the last algorithm, which I remember, I think, of course, the very tedious GPerms and the NPerm, right? Though the NBPerm is one of my favorite, but NA is quite difficult. So still, I still having some mistake and a lot of really inaccurate training I'm doing. Totally, sometimes my muscle memory does it works. Sometimes it clashing with my mind. What is the correct algorithm? So yeah, I completed the 21 and 21 algorithms for PLL and fully I'm still working on the CPAP method during those days. And then when I felt that really comfortable working on that PLL algorithms, that only time that I come across with starting my day of learning a new algorithms also when it comes to OLL. And overall, probably completing the whole PLL and my OLL, it took me about 6 months, literally, and with a non-stop of cubing until now. Totally, I even in bed, anywhere in shopping market, I'm holding a cube just to perform that alg in my muscle memory. Even it's getting messed though, as long as I know I want to see the feel of turning, and that that took about 6 months, right? So when I got this full OLL and PLL, really my time was increased. My time of solving totally increases. It's totally it came to even hardly 2 minutes actually, to tell you frankly. And of course, more often when I did manage to really because imagine for a 57 of OLL, really a lot of recognition will be there, and so many turns that almost similar from the others, right? So really, I totally mess. They say it's supposed to be effective if you just perform a two look OLL. Literally, even I made more than two look OLL because of those mistakes. Right. The worst is, of course, if I commit mistake, I'm almost about to complete the last layer. I will return back to F2L again. Right. That will over time it was improved little by little until such time even I might say myself I'm already a full OL during those days, but still I need hardly I could perform it correctly because so many things needs to pull out from your memory, right? So I'll be happy also to say that now uh, pretty much I'm now sub 30 average solver when the recent solve I did for AO 20 and that was 28 seconds and even when I was a full OLL and PLL already hardly I could even reach the sub 30 and I'm just only playing along within sub 40 average during those days, right? So for the beginners, of course, I remember that lingo they said this is RU R prime U prime 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 RU R prime U prime, and you perform that one in 6 times. Of course, it will come back to the original state. Similarly, also doing in the left lingo, right? So that will be L prime, right? So really, I study all those notations. Hardly even I was already pretty much 4 months of cubing when I was doing the scramble. even from the scramble itself, I even miss, particularly in the B prime, the D prime, and sometimes I'm reading R, but I'm performing R prime, right? And of course, I was very slow of scrambling whenever I about to start the solve, right? So notations wise as well, yeah, also helps me a lot when of course I'm also performing a typical 4 by 4 cube as well, of course. So it's similar. Some new notation also will be there on the 4 by 4, and until of course uh, to a 6 by 6, a 7 by 7, and a 5 by 5. Actually, along the way, when I was almost about to complete my algs on, particularly in OLL, this is what I'm doing. Um, I did learn first how to solve a 4 by 4. I think my first purchase with magnetized 4 by 4, it was a Little Magic, I believe so. Yes, Fusion Little Magic. Yeah, this one. And and it took me about 15 minutes, not even. I think hardly 20 minutes when I first learned this 4 by 4. And because of course it's a typical, you can perform what you have learned on a typical 3 by 3, but the most tedious part there is the edges that really become totally mess around for me. It was hardly I could see the pair of those edges. And then of course I was also forced to study the parities and for those edge flips and swapping algorithms, and of course for the PLL parities. And over time I even improved that one, right? From 20 minutes of solving of a 4 by 4, and now currently I could have a sub 2 minutes over here. I'm not still a fast solver when it comes to 4 by 4, but I'm pretty happy when I got my first PB. My current PB was 1 minute and nearly the 32 seconds, pretty much. Yes. And of course, 5 by 5 really it took me about nearly an hour for me to solve 5 by 5. But only the advantage is, of course, when when I learned the 4 by 4, everything started with the big cubes. Only an add-on uh, kind of complexity of the reduction method, which is the edge pairing, and then with some newly kind of different version of the parity, right? And even when I got my first 6 by 6, it was a non-magnetized from Moyu, but totally it took me about nearly an hour for me to complete the 6 by 6, right? Because the parities are a bit longer, and most tedious spot there is sometimes it's quite difficult to turn for a non-magnetized big cube big cubes. That's why I just had my YJ. Now it's quite much more better, because the drawback of performing an algorithm in the big cubes is really, if you if I pause in the middle totally, complete I could not totally complete my algs, because totally I forgot what's the next. That's the problem on the big cubes. That's why I almost just had nearly an hour for a typical 6 by 6, and even for the first time I solved for a 7 by 7 more than an hour, literally. So I'm pretty happy now with my 7 by 7. At least I had already about 27 minutes of solving of these, and my 6 by 6 is about roughly 13 minutes. It's still long. It's not quite fast solver still. And then my 5 by 5 is, I think my PB here is about 4 minutes only. But imagine, right? Imagine from 20 minutes to 4 minutes. right? So that would be a very good development as well, right? So over time, when I was also solving big cubes, my my recognition in a 3 by 3 is becoming more better and better, because of course compared to this, there's only very few shades over here compared to a big cubes. There's so many shades there, particularly if you're performing edge parity. So there are so many pieces around. So of course it improves as well, and that recognition as well also improves me a lot on performing the last layers of the 3 by 3 stage, right? Right. For those who are happen to be just starting off with the cubing, yeah, it really takes more practice, and really it's quite overwhelming if you first see the sheets of the algorithms, and there are so many variants as well. It depends on your likings, and of course some improvements that you might also improve your solving if you might be having less grips or regrips, yes, they say, yeah. And then of course your TPS will be much more faster and faster, and basically of course regrips and less pauses. But of course pauses really, it's the big problem really, because most of the time, if you could if I could hardly recognize when it comes now, the pauses are basically on the pair of the F12 sometimes, and most of the time even the pauses will take even on the OLL and the PLL. So that pauses, if you add on, it really even reach 10 seconds. So imagine if you're targeting a 30 sub 30, which means you have to solve just for 20 seconds without pause, and the other 10 seconds would be all pauses. So hardly really even even though that still I'm doing the same um, way, but I'm still catching up, right? Because the worst things happens, you have a lot of pauses, but and even uh, in the middle you still caught some errors or mistake on the algs, and that will add on to your time as well. So really it needs more practice technically, right? Yeah. So currently now I'm dual neutral solver, and I did manage now to solve whether both either a yellow cross and a white cross, and I'm studying some other. Many people say that true, it's not advisable for you to do color neutral solving if you're not yet even sub 20 average or even sub 15, they say, and many even sub 10 solvers average are they're only having a typical white white cross, and only thing that might be advantage for them if they are really very good on more on recognition and advanced look, of course, right? Right. So if I let's take some sample shuffle here, and let's have a run through for this one, and you can see the way I will solve it. It's pretty much intuitive actually, right? It's pretty much intuitive, and I even try to do some less turnings, and sometimes turning off the cube, it's become a more advantage to me because I'm not doing the efficient algs though. That's why I used to have these turns, and of course I advantage, of course, if you're inserting at the back, side, left, and right. Of course, I'm pretty working on that already though. And then, say for example, even for the 15 seconds inspection, I don't even mind that 15 seconds. Literally before, it never even registered to my mind what would be my first plan to do. Totally, really, because I could not hardly I could complete the complete four edges of the cross by just planning Probably until two only I could do, but the other two it would be history because this would be now intuitive for me then. But I now I can manage to do so, right? Because through more practicing, it took me now of performing that 15 seconds inspection that fully cross should be planned, right? So for this time example, say if the scramble is like this, yeah. So there's a pretty advantage now for the yellow cross because this orange is already solved. But if I will check also the white cross, yes, there's also orange here, but I'd be performing either D prime or D if I'm facing from this one though. But I think in my point of view, actually, it would be more advantage if I'll do the white because I have already here white facing up. But this one is still, I need to, probably I could still do more turns in this blue. This one will come here and then see this one will be over there. So for now, based on my intuition, I will go with with orange white with the white cross. Right? I'll just do the D2 moves here, right, so that I could pair this orange and white. And intuitively, I just turn this one though, so that it will pair this blue and white, and then this white and green. And just do this loop, and then of course this red is already in front of me. There you go. Right, that one already been planned already. And now before, I'm not doing that. I'm not even performing. I don't even mind that plan. Whatever the movements flows, that only I will going to solve that. But since initially I'm facing to this phase, of course, the moment I'm only first things that I'm seeing is, of course, which would be the first pair of my F2L. I might be doing some AUF though, right? So, but basically I'm seeing now this one actually, but hardly the the pair of this one is somewhere here. So actually, it's this one is already fixed. Right? Intuitively now, I can now pair this one, this two, and then insert here in front, right? And there you go. So before, maybe I'll just do so many turns just to see where is that particular pair. And I'm still on this same status though, right? So I'm seeing this one, and most likely it's a pretty advantage is already there, right? So only have to pair this one. So you can see the way I will going to to pair this one is quite the basic F2L even until now, right? So imagine I have performed my 14.83 PB without any advanced F2L, just doing intuitively on my F2L, and of course fast recognition and execution for my last layers. So I'll just pair this up like this, and only time that I will perform this rotation because I want to insert over here. Right. So now I'm just facing on this green. Of course, hardly, probably I might be doing some turns like this. Right. So obviously I see this pair now, but they are not in proper um, position. So I might do the turning like this because basically I want to split this one. And based on normally I'm used to do the right lingo, I'll just perform it on my right side and split them up. Right. So this one before it's very hard for me first learning the F2L. This one is totally different color on the top. Right. So which means really hardly I don't know where exactly to perform it. But that is only the time when I mastered it. Only we need to do some insertion at the back. Right, by just pairing this center there. Right. So which means either the way, and I can perform a rotation as well, or might be like this, but it either depends. Suppose it was in the back, right, and maybe I'll just turn something like this, but depends. If I was in the red, I inserted already at the back, right? So this time of course I'm seeing this one and that, So with the advantage of every pieces of your F2L is on the top. And my worst case scenario sometimes in most of the whites or are here in the lower corner. So that will take more time for me to recognize where are the pairs. But this time they are all there on the top. But this is not in proper position. Of course, they have different color on the top. So intuitively, what I'm doing is I'm doing this F prime U and then F, right, right, because basically I want to pair this up there, right. But it was in the green though. It was in the green, so which means I might rather do this rotation and then make a U2 and then of course R U prime R U and then R prime and then that only. So during those placement, basically I'm also rotating my cube at the moment if I'm not comfortable of doing that one on my left hand or even inserting in the back, right. But this one is now pretty advantage. I saw this one already because I'm on facing on the green, right. I will just split this out intuitively. I'm not performing an advanced F2L because I'll just insert it normal like this. There you go. So now my F2L is already solved, and only the thing is I need to perform this shape with all OLL, right? Oops, is that one? Okay. Now it came to another set, pretty much awkward shape. So this is the hardest part of instructional video actually. Definitely I'll be messing around with my arms. Okay, now this one, so many rotation might afford, and it seems that this is typical. Hardly I could recognize this kind of shape, but this is an obviously it's a G palm. So particularly this is a GD palm, right? So in some of the cases, sometimes I used to perform all my G palms should be on the position, right? Because hardly I could perform that one with a different without adjustment of the upper face, right? So let me just perform that one right there. So let's try another one though, another scramble. Let's say is F2D, F2 U prime, right? And maybe later we'll try to time my my solve though, right? So this time now, okay, it's already shuffled. Okay, let me check only between the white and yellow. I just take this dual color neutral as an advantage, whatever the best way and fastest way for me to solve a cross actually. Alright, so for now I'm pretty much saying that this red is okay. I mean this white, and similarly also with this yellow cross, but there will be a very good plan on this one though. But at least this one, the what they call this one, the yellow and green is already in place. So what I'll do intuitively, maybe I'll just plan this one to put over here, right? I might turn already this one so that I could have this way over there at the back, and only thing is I need to place this one here. So my yellow cross is already solved. So still facing on this red. So of course we're quite lucky we have the pair here, but they are not in shape properly positioned. So intuitively I'll just split them up, and then I'll just pair this over here so that I could, oh wait, we are we are yellow, by the way, I'm sorry, we are yellow. So let me just, can I still return that back to, where's the red one though? Yeah, I can still return back there. Sorry, we are in yellow. So this one is already there, and then this will be inserted here. And then now I'm seeing this one, but though probably I could not see this pair, right? Because there it's in the middle. But might be most likely I'll be doing this blue and orange. Normally, intuitively, I split this and then pair it to this one, and then do this alt, and so that I could insert it at the back. Right now, I'm seeing this yellow, the red and blue. Most likely, this is the pair. But normally, what I did, I positioned that one already like this, so that if I turn to this red center, oh, I'm sorry, it's already in at the back though. Yeah, it's still the same position, so that I could insert it over there. Imagine that is very fast, and if you're I'm solving it in a time mode, it's quite difficult. Imagine on my instruction very slow already, but I still committing mistake, right? So if I do a lot of turnings, and sometimes before even I broke the inserted F12 already, again it will redo the pairing once again. And this time this one is here and that one is there. Most of the time I just put that one on the top intuitively, so that I could insert it over here. I know there's a much more efficient algs for advanced alg for that F2L for that case, but I'm not performing that one though. Alright, so now this time we are in OLL, and then now for this GD perm again, right? So let me try to do some time though. If I can perform a very good, maybe we'll just complete the A05 for now. Okay, let me try to solve this one. Right, so let's have a 15 seconds inspection.
Eight seconds.
Okay, now I got 28.55 seconds. I'm struggling in my AUF most of the time. Really, technically it is a DNF where I've already pressed the time, but I'm still rotating the upper face though. Right, this is my problem. Normally happens. Okay, now I might go with the yellow cross again.
8 seconds.
I'm not seeing that pair technically. And okay, that was so fast on my last layer, but I did a lot of mess in the F12. This time is still accepted for me technically. If I'll be getting a good average of sub 30, this is still accepted. Right? Well, not only I will going to commit wrong algs that will add
8
on to
seconds.
my time. Right? I'll be doing yellow cross again. Okay, yeah, I messed that one. Performing wrong out actually of even this one. I just recently dated my Sune, anti-Sune. Oh gosh. I did a mess. This normally will happen because I mess up with my PLL and came back again to OLL. And even I did many tries on that supposed to be an anti-Sune, but now I'm doing the right let go. Right. Still, hopefully we could still catch up. And this definitely will affect my average because this is 45. Okay, it's 26.64, and that is a white cross. Might go with the white cross again.
8 seconds.
Oh, wrong PLL. Okay, that was a wrong PLL. It should be supposed to be a sub 30, but technically now still be my target, right? Because getting along with AO5 of 30, sub 30 is pretty good for me still. Yeah, right. So you see the way I solve though. So really, if I got a mistake in the last layers or the OLL, that definitely it will add on to my time. And hardly if I also do a lot of pauses. I'm doing a lot of AUF and turning rotation, particularly in F2L. That also cost me a lot of time to perform. Right. If that will happen, at least uh, I, I should have performed my PLL and OLL without a mistake. Right. And the recognition is so fast. I could still manage to catch up that one though. Right. So yeah. Uh, let's try another cube though. Okay. Anyhow, this is sub 30. I'm good to that one. So let me try to do a 2 by 2. Right. So basically in 2 by 2, it's I just when I got my full OLL, I just come across that I can perform the same algs technically, but only simplified when it comes to this. But yeah, they say that if you're performing a 2 by 2, you should be technically it's color neutral because it will be advantage of your cross. But hardly I could perform that one sometimes. But yeah, I can also perform between a dual color neutral or between this yellow and white. And the rest are just add on to my 2 by 2 algs when I saw those patterns, which is pretty much similar to a 3 by 3, but just a simplified version. Right. One of my um, PB on a 2 by 2 actually it's a sub 5, and that is pretty awesome. I could not hardly even reach that. Hardly I could have 5.44. And of course, is of course, even until now, sometimes I even reach 20 seconds, right, for this. Okay, let's try to solve average of 5 here. Actually, my son is pretty good in this one. thing is he can have now at least 21 seconds of solving it is with a combination of the basic method, beginner's method when it comes to 2 by 2. Alright, so let's have this inspection.
8 seconds.
And really, actually, the problem to me here is so small, hardly I could perform it. See, there you go. Don't remember when was the last time I solved a 2 by 2. Yes, I think it's a corner twist though. Yeah, it was. Oh, wow, that was the worst. Solve my 2 by 2. Alright, I can do better than this compared to my 3 by 3 solve. Right, now let's try it once again. I could not turn it properly, actually. I'm not used to this small cube now this time. A 16.09. Come on, give me sub 10 at least, just for stream. Okay, 13. And for the last solve, yeah, right. So 15 seconds, right? Pretty good. So now let's move on to, let's try this 4 by 4 now this time. I might just do probably one or two. So, right. So by the way, this one is, I just recently purchased this. This is RS4M from Moyu, and definitely it's so fast actually. Literally, it's so fast. I used to have this little magic. Only the thing is the turning is a bit kind of uh, what do you call this one? It's too tight for me though. I don't know, but it's already loose though. I have just put on, even I just put on some loops here. But here, hardly, I don't even remember if I have already put the loop here when I purchased this. Still out of the box until now. Right, it's quite fast. Although it's more stable here, and the corner cutting is better on using Little Magic compared to this RS4M. Right, and anyhow, we'll see. Now let's try a first solve using this 4 by 4. Once again, my PB here is 1 minute and 32 seconds. I think the nearest that I could, the recent nearest solve I could reach, probably even, it's only 1 minute and 45 40 seconds. Hardly I could even down to that 40 seconds though. And probably if that edging is quite fast and hardly or totally no parity at all, probably I could even reach that one. But with the complete or with the double parity, that is impossible for me. For my for my average. Okay, so now let's start. Oh, quite lucky though for that one. But it took me time to see the pairs now this time. See, that's the problem. Should not be doing the swapping arm though. It's quite early, but nothing to do. Just became an instinct though. Technically, I'm not seeing the pairs totally. That's why I'm doing this lot of rotations. Seriously, where are the other pairs? Oh gosh, they're at the back. Right. Now let's move on to edge pairing. Oh gosh, it's over there. I'm trying to do the 3-2-3 method though. It's from the Yao method. Now I think I'm already in 3x3 stage. Yes. Whoa. Hardly I could see the pair. Okay, we don't have parity for that one. That's good. But definitely this one we have it. Alright. And is this a thick one? Oh no, I did the double parity once again. That's wrong. Should not happen actually. Right. Right. Not even close to my average. I'm supposed to have an average of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh, still near though. Let me try another one though. Might have a lock solved this time. Okay. The white is ready. So there. Okay, press bar. Okay, let's just add on to this. Well, what is this? Orange. Oh gosh, I'm doing it over here. Green. Red. Alright. Add the edge. Green edge. Whatever the edge I will see, that's it. I'm doing the white ones now. Because partially I'm doing the white cross. Yeah, doing the creating the white cross already. Red and blue. And this one is so have to look for this one though. I really want to force to do the 3-2-3. Right, you go. Hopefully this will match. No, not even. Okay. So which means I have to swap this one now. Yes, now we are on 3 by 3. Alright, where's that pair? Yeah. And we see we have a parity for this one. Yeah, we do. And this one is OL. And what is this? Gosh. Parity, by the way. Okay, hopefully it's correct. And it's the B plan. Right, so nothing changed though. What I do. What can I do? This is the way I could solve. So I think I don't know if I could feel to solve a 5 by 5 or even either 6 by 6 or 7 by 7. Let me try to solve this mini. This is one of my mini, and I usually do this one in one hand actually. Okay, so let's just try to solve this one. Actually, recently I just um, learning to solve a one-handed 3 by 3, and I think one of my PB for one-handed is about 56 seconds, but averaging about 110 120 1 minute and 20 seconds. Okay, anyhow, we'll just try it, and I'm just only applying a two look here, and
Eight seconds.
my finger click is not quite efficient.
12 seconds.
Oops, still learning to do those. See, even right. I'm doing the white cross. It's only the advantage. That's why I took this. Bought this 50 millimeter, which is the mini version of 3 by 3, because I'm planning to really to study one hand, and just recently I just really religiously start studying the algs of one hand. Seems I'm starting all over again actually. Right, I could not perform the 2-1 loop for that one. Right now, okay, even this one actually. Right, so which means now I can perform this alg. Right, so 1 minute and 32 seconds. That's really quick actually. That's my average. Right, so let me try it once again. Oh, this is not the shuffle. I don't know what's the difference of 3 by 3 OH. I think it's much more lesser though. I don't know. Right, so let's just do once again one solve, and let's think one more solve probably for AO12 in my 3 by 3 normal solving. Okay, I might go with white, right? Right. Okay, now, okay, oops, right. Oh gosh, it's quite difficult. At least it's putting it down still still legal on performing one edge. Oh, right. Of course, I'll be doing the two look here. And once again, I have some problem here actually. Right, good. So I did perform it well. Yes, that is 1 minute and 28 seconds. At least I'm a bit faster compared to my first solve when I was still learning the beginner's method though. But anyhow, this is one hand. Alright, so I want to come back with a 3 by 3 solve, and let me just use my uh, Dian Dian Sheng 3 by 3 magnetize. Right, so I just lube this one though. It's quite very cheap actually. It's only under $7, and I found it's very fast actually when I saw the reviews of the shops, and really they had even sub 6 sold out of this. So let me try to do maybe for finishing up my stream, and I will just perform AO12. Alright, so let's do this.
8 seconds.
Okay, it's 29.1.
Eight seconds.
26.04. Might go with yellow cross.
8 seconds.
'Oh, so hard time I could see now the pairs. Luckily they are in upper nice. So 26.06. Thought it was so fast, but still. Sometimes I felt that I'm solving a sub 20, but it wasn't. Right. Go with white cross.
8 seconds.
Oh, got the wrong one though. Okay, did a mistake in that PLL, and almost it got a mistake also with my HPAM. So, okay, still have a long solve to reach our AO12. Hopefully, still have a good chance of having a sub 30 though.
8 seconds.
Got the wrong pair there. Mm-hmm. The T-perm. Hoo 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 hoo. T-perm. It should have been sub 30. So the very nick of time just to recognize which owl needs to be to perform.
8 seconds.
Right.
12 seconds.
Technically, I don't do a plan now this time. We'll see. We'll just run into intuition. Right. Hopefully this R-prime is correct. Yes, but still 30. Oh,
8 seconds.
right. Yellow cross. Oops, what is this? Doing the wrong way. Uh-oh. I cannot see the pair. It's only beside him though. What is this? Even what? There you go now. It's not pretty good. It's not good though, right? This is now the worst solve this time. Okay, let's go with
8 seconds.
yellow cross. Right. Come on, show up. Right, and 22.89. You can do this. Give me a good scramble though.
8
Right,
seconds.
here, lockups again. 96.84. Right, this is a ninth solve. Moving on to our third scramble.
8 seconds.
Alright, I think it's good. I was thinking it wasn't Soviet though. Yeah, it wasn't. What is this? So now that will be a bad solve definitely. Right, let me do this left lingo. It's the 35. Imagine I missed that cross orientation. That's the worst thing happened though. If you are, imagine if you are a full color neutral solver. You have to be stick on the color that you're performing. Might go with yellow.
8 seconds.
Right. Getting slower now this time. It is a difficult awkward shape. Oh gosh, oh gosh. It's 30. Yeah, that's very hard to position the APAM basically. I can perform it fast, but positioning, that's the worst always happens to my APAM. Part of that, hardly I could fastly recognize the shape because there are similar shape like that as well. Right, this would be my, I think my last song. Let's see,
8 seconds.
just go with yellow cross. Oops. Okay. Mm-mm. Looking further, but it wasn't to be. Alright, so no PLL, definitely 34. Alright, so this time I got a AO12, so failed attempt for my AO12, so I did not get sub 30 unfortunately. Alright, so I think that would be it. This will end my stream. Hello, Script Baba Bam, how are you? Right, so this time I'll be signing off. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you again next time for our next live stream session on solving a Rubik's Cube. So, bye bye for now. Ciao. Bye.